Howdy folks, and welcome back to Uzumaki. Today we're going to be watching episode 3 out of 4 for this miniseries, and I have quite a bit to say about this one before we get started. But first of all, in honor of the last episode being somewhat lighthouse focused at the end, we'll talk about that here in a second. I want to wear my Devin Townsend Lightworker shirt, in memoriam of this series, in remembrance of Kyrie's brother. I'm pretty sure that was Kyrie's brother that died at the end of that last one that got all burnt up in the lighthouse. I just want to lead off by saying I'm a pretty easy to please guy. I'm pretty forgiving, especially with like things like dips in quality or like just weak episodes of series. I understand that animation's very hard work, and whatever's put out here is honestly leagues better than I could ever hope to accomplish. But even I, Mr. Easy to Please, I had a fun time watching it, therefore it's fine. Still couldn't help but notice and call out certain things in the last episode, namely anytime a character threw a punch, it just looked not great. I called that out a couple times, as well as the scene where they're running on the beach, which just straight up looked bad, especially going back and, when you're watching it, you can kind of notice and say that looks a little goofy, but when I was in editing, I was like, oh, that animation sucks, actually. Like, what happened? Come to find out, different studios did episodes 1 and 2. It seems that the heads at Cartoon Network, Max, Warner Brothers, whoever's in charge of making the decisions, basically told them, you're spending way too much money, you're going way too slow. We understand you have one episode done. We got to speed things up. We're shifting it to a different studio, basically, to produce it, which is why we had, the almost near perfect, save for a couple pacing issues, episode 1 of Uzumaki, and then episode 2, which had, dips in animation quality, especially looking at them side by side. I saw on Twitter, it's absolutely, clear as day that they are just completely different animation teams. They're doing their best to keep up with the style, but the sheer quality of everything that blew my mind in episode 1 was gone for episode 2, which also I noticed the kind of grainy film filter that was kind of put on there in episode 2 I don't think was there in episode 1. I think that's something that the new studio kind of did, but the head of the project basically said, look, we had 3 options. Number 1, cancel it outright and put out nothing. Number 2, release the first episode saying this is what our vision is, this is all we were able to make with the budget, or all that they let us make with the time frame and everything. Here's what you get, or release the whole thing. I believe this is a direct quote, or translated from a direct quote, because I think he's Japanese, warts and all. So we got the warts and all option, and there were quite a few warts on that last one. Additionally, I mentioned that it's interesting that they're kind of breaking these chapters up to make little A, B, and C plots and everything, but when the episode felt like it was coming to an end, and then all of a sudden there's the lighthouse segment that kind of airs completely uninterrupted for the last portion of episode, it's clear that might be a bit of a mistake, because it was I was shocked. In that moment I was like, oh shit, we're doing the whole lighthouse thing right now? Episode's almost over, right? Which is also weird why the first episode was a 30-minute long for TV episode. The rest of these are 45-minute blocks, which is absolutely bizarre. I don't think I've ever heard of a show doing a 45-minute airing block. I know with Adult Swim, they have a lot of 15-minute shows that are the episodes are 11 minutes long or something like that. Cartoon Network does as well, so that's not weird, but it's weird to have an episode made up of 3 of those. Kind of if you take a clock, you get kind of the top part of the spiral with the nine digits there. That's nothing. But anyway, it's just a weird how the series ended up. I'd love to see a whole video essay kind of tying in all the facts, all that we know, all that we can piece together. Kind of maybe Mother's Basement can do something on it, and I would love to hear him break it down. But we get what we get, and we don't pitch a fit, or we do sometimes, but we just grin and bear it, right? So I'm hopeful that episode 3, now that we're kind of used to the animation we should be seeing, hits better. And I think, now granted, we're about to get to the point where I don't know what happens. I think maybe 1 or 2 chapters into whatever this episode is going to be, is the extent of what I read of the manga Uzumaki. So I'm really hoping that, kind of like how the lighthouse was, they can't really break it up. They can't have Kyrie going into the lighthouse and then like, oh, I'm gonna go water the snails at school, right? You can't break that up. So I'm really hoping that, really praying that whatever like source material we get is in places that cannot be broken up into multiple chunks. So we just kind of get like chapter, 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 right? As it breaks on. And honestly, thinking about it that way, this series might have been better suited as like an 11-minute kind of thing, and just break it up into multiple episodes and kind of have each episode be like a chapter, right? Kind of adapt it that way, and you know, you kind of avoid this problem. You let it run for a little longer. If you can keep the quality up, you know, you get that word of mouth going. But honestly, at this point, the fact that it is just 4 episodes might be for the best, just because, like, you know, if it is going to be as kind of as negatively received as the last one was, from what I can tell, it might be for the best that it's going to be over sooner than later. But anyway, this is a super long intro. Like I said, I had a lot to talk about, so let us scooch over and get ready to watch episode 3, whatever it has in store for us. Thank you for watching this video, though. Do me a favor, leave a like on this thing, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of the episode, of the reaction, anything you want to tell me. For what it's worth, these are available uncut over on Patreon if you want to just get the whole thing there. There's a link to that in the description, but I understand if you don't with this series. Granted, this might be the best we ever get of a Junji Ito adaptation, so I'm still just grateful we have it. Just please be good. Please be okay at the very best, because I think a lot of people also blow out of proportion. Like, if something's just disappointing, people act like it's the worst thing in the world. And you go over to IMDb, the episode 1 has like a 9 point something rating. Last I checked, episode 2 has like a 6.5 or a 6.6 or something. It might be lower than that. It might be a little review bombed, but for the most part, like, it's not like it's a 4 or something. It wasn't a dismal episode of television. It was just, compared to the first, very disappointing. But regardless, let us start up Uzumaki episode 3 in 3, 2, 1, go. I do remember some shit going down at this hospital. Oh yeah, I guess she's in the hospital after the... It's a spiral, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, my dad didn't even have to try to make that one into a spiral. Who wouldn't be after this? Just can't stop zoning in on that thing, huh? Oh god, yeah. That one's on the inside. Yep. Oh god, that's gnarly, actually. Yep. Yep. The mosquitoes are what I remember. Yeah, like this. Like, looking at it with like the most negative state of mind I can muster, it still looks fine. It's just not, like I said, it's not the sheer level of quality that the first was. Oh, they're sharing a room now? What is that? It's nothing I can kind of place. That dude just straight up came out of the river. Oh wait, oh, is that her dad? I know he's the clay worker, right? Oh, what is he up to? Alright, that mosquito just kind of like floating around the screen does look a little silly. I'm gonna start going all cinema sins on the... I'm gonna go cinema sins on this motherfucker. The mosquito flying around looked bad. Ding! Well, she's starting to get better at least. Yeah, see, even there, it's just kind of like... Damn, that much spray? You know, mosquitoes aren't the fastest of bugs. They're not that difficult to just like slap. Flies are super difficult to catch, super hard. Like they take the fuck off. Mosquitoes are kind of lazy. Mosquitoes are like pretty easy to like clap, or if it lands on you, like pretty easy to smack them. Even sometimes you can just kind of swat them out of the air without even having to clap them, and like it kind of stuns them for a second, and they fall to the ground, and you can step on them or do what have you. Living in Texas, we get our fair share of mosquitoes. The summers are kind of brutal here, combined with the humidity. Nasty shit. Not as nasty as what we're about to witness, but you know, I've killed many a mosquito in my life. Let's just leave it at that.
Keiko-san, 刺されないように気をつけてくださいね。ありがとう。でも大丈夫よ。
Yeah, one of the main complaints I saw people saying was that the lip syncing is not as good, whereas this is just basically like lip flaps just kind of going as they're talking, not like emphasizing the syllables they're actually saying. Which, once again, I know a lot of anime does that, but when you have like the level of quality of the first one, that's just the point I'm going to keep harping on about, right? Yup. God. I will say, just the kind of like uneven footsteps that we're hearing here. What is... Okay. Okay. I'm starting to get it. They may be acting like mosquitoes. Once again, mosquitoes carrying eggs being the only ones that suck blood. Ugh. Once again, just a little bit of color. I'd be totally fine if the blood was colorized. And once again, there's that little grainy film filter. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's not that hard to outrun heavily pregnant women, but at the same time, when your legs are all bandaged up and you're on a crutch. Now that looks like something straight out of the manga. Like that looked like they just took a panel and just kind of like moved it around a little bit. I will say I am just wishing I would have seen this scene in particular in the original studio's animation style. Jeez Louise. I forgot how like... I don't even want to say body horror. Like this is just a different type of horror than we usually get. It's usually the unexplainable stuff that usually tends to happen in here. But this is like, they're just kind of drilling them. I will say oh, the mosquito spray? Damn it, why did Shuichi use it all? Oh god, even the spray is like kind of spiraling out. You know, honestly though, not too far off from Gulf Coast mosquitoes. But yeah, it's just a different kind of horror when it's like the people themselves actually doing the violence as opposed to like, here's my body doing something horribly unnatural. Oh, God. It's trying to get that... Yep, there it goes. Oh, it looks like her husband. Damn. Oh no, he told her. Darling, what do you love about me? The spiral inside of you. Aren't there a bunch of dead bodies? He still talks to me. No, no, no. It was too out of date. Also, his mouth isn't moving. He was... Cinema Sins #2. When he was facing away, you could see the profile of his cheek, but no lip flaps were happening. Ding. I'm so sorry to keep doing this, but like now that I've just been made aware of the, you know, it's once again, it's just another case of the higher ups at a studio, like getting in the way of people in their art. Even if we had to wait 10 years for the whole series in that original art style, like I just feel like it's been ruined for me a little bit now that now that I kind of realized what happened, and now I'm just noticing all the little shortcuts, which, like I said, in any other anime is like commonplace, right? You know, people do, like, characters who are far away have like no detail on them whatsoever, because, you know, they just have to be drawn like pretty quickly and move on to the next frame, draw it really quickly, move on to the next frame. Like, I get it, I understand. And in most anime, that's what you get. But when this was promised and hyped up to be, you know, what we got in episode 1, like, everything else is just disappointing. And I'm so sorry to be negative, because I am enjoying it. Like, it was creepy seeing them drilling the holes into people's necks and everything, but at the same time, I'm thinking about what could have been. Oh, what would that have looked like in the like original kind of animation style? And it's just, I can't help but just be a little bit disappointed. I hope we get some really fucked up shit that happens in this episode. Not that that wasn't fucked up earlier, but like, I need something like disgusting to happen. Please.
斉藤さん、病室へ戻りましょう。
本当かしら。本当かしら。
She's gonna have to find out for herself, right? Everyone's now gaslighting her for her own safety. Ooh. Not the IV fluids. Yo, it's like... And now from beyond the grave, he's gaslighting her, but actually telling her the truth. Just in a gaslighty manner. It's fucked up. Maybe that's the most fucked up thing we're gonna get. Oh no. Oh, come on. I thought they were going to show us in graphic detail. Like, additionally, in episode 1, when she was cutting off the, her, you know, fingerprints. Oh no, that's what helps you keep your sense of balance, right? It's so ironic. By removing the spirals in... Oh, never mind. She's dead. But it's so ironic that by removing the spirals in your ears, it like makes you lose your sense of balance and you're constantly dizzy, right? That might be the cruelest irony yet. Oh god. Not baby stuff. Is that octopus?
ごちそうさまでした。
食べてないじゃないか。
このキノコ好きじゃないの。なんだか
Oh, they're mushrooms.
美味しいわよね、あのキノコ。
とっても
Everyone, I fucking love eating spirals.
早く戻りたいな。暖かな
Oh.
場所に。本当に戻れるのかな。
Oh no.
俺たちを外へ出したあいつなら、今マキオが戻されてるはずだぜ。
Yo, baby genius is up in here.
ワクワクするな。
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh no. I asked for some fucked up shit. That kind of qualifies. God. Now I'm not remembering if I read this or not.
今恵子さんの叫び声が。
赤ん坊の可愛さは自立できるように成
The
長
fuck?
するための武器だ。のへその緒は何度切っても胎盤を再生する。
Oh.
自らでへその緒と胎盤を作り直してまで。
Oh, that's what that is?
元の存在に戻りたがっているのだ。
Oh, man.
この渦巻き模様のキノコのようなものが。
そう。
That's what they were eating? Oh, God. Nah, that... You know, in the last one, the sound design of the... Fuck. I was gonna say, the sound design of the bodies twisting in the last one is what did it for me, but in this one, it's... Oh my god. I think I did read this because I think I said in the first episode, I remember there being some titties. Alright, we might be back a little bit, folks. Oh. They do fucking love eating the spirals. Yo, how much censorship do I have to do in the YouTube edit?
お大事になさってくださいね。行くわよ、早く。痛いよ、お姉ちゃん。
Okay, so I guess that's the end of that chapter.
退院パーティーよ。修一くんもいらしてね。
I guess he's whispering, so his mouth is just kind of barely moving. Cinema Sins number 3. I'm already seeing the video title. Just me with my head in my hands for the thumbnail. Just, I'm turning into Cinema Sins and I don't like it.
よっぽどお腹空いてたのね。
修一君、これからもちょくちょく来なさい。
I just love to eat food that's not spirals. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
君のお父さんは芸術の若い人。
No, he made it.
焼き物は渦巻きの芸術である。
Oh,
とい
no.
う名言を残したほどに。
Nah, your dad's corrupted now. Also, I guess the kid at the table, I guess that wasn't her brother that died in the lighthouse. I guess it was just the other friend kid that went. Okay, so yeah, officially, I don't know what this is. I don't know what's gonna happen. No, they are calling to him. Help us? How can they be helped? Yo, what are we gonna see here? Oh! Spirits? What the fuck? Oh, spirits, but they have physical form?
修一くん。消防車。
I don't know if you could put this fire out. You have to take your fire hoses and just like spray them like that so the water spirals just perfectly. Oh no, not a typhoon. That's the biggest spiral of them all. Also, I did kind of get my wish where, you know, obviously the hospital stuff was like the ladies being mosquitoes in the night was like one chapter. The babies with the umbilical cords was another. I'm assuming that whole bit with the fire and everything was its own chapter as well. So we're now starting to get like I said, we're getting like chapters adapted like in a row. But the fact that the manga is presented as such, of just kind of separate chapters, just kind of barely connected with like just the kind of through line of plot, it feels so jarring to go from like everything's on fire to there's a typhoon happening right now. And it's just like you feel like you're being jolted from like one scene to the next, which isn't the best like pacing wise, but at the same time, like I don't know how else they would have done that. Like, at least show them putting the fire out or the typhoon coming to like rain the fire out or something. I don't know. Yeah, just something there. So it's not just like a hard cut to the next chapter, which, you know, once again, when you're reading manga, it's one thing. You say, okay, this is clearly another chapter, the next part of the story. Whereas here, it's just all part of the same episode, which is why I said it might have been better for them to have these as just 11-minute episodes and just have more of them, like a more like full season, kind of, so to say, as the show. But for whatever reason, this is how they plan to do it. So once again, we get what we get, and you can kind of pitch a little bit of a fit. I'll allow it. I will allow it in this instance. Plus, looking at the runtime, we have about 11 minutes left, which would be, you know, whatever this hurricane typhoon kind of thing is going to be. Once again, would be a full chapter or a full episode of like that kind of 15-minute runtime thing. I'm sorry I'm being like backseat showrunner here, but like I just can't help it when everything feels just so kind of jarring like this, and you're like, oh, especially you could have just cut the whole kiln flame scene completely, because, you know, that felt like super short compared to everything else. How much time we spent at the hospital, then just that tiny little piece, and now I'm assuming this typhoon thing is going to be the rest of the episode. So it's just, I don't know. It's just a little frustrating. Just like Tropical Storm Allison back in the early 2000s at Houston. It was just a tropical storm, but like it like stalled right over Houston, just dumped so much water on us. It's her. I forgot. She wrapped herself up in the telephone poles, and I was like, what happened to her?
何かしら。
誰？台風の目だ。
Is it coming from the storm itself?
バカね、ミツオ。 目って言ったって本当に目がついてるわけじゃないのよ。修一くん。
キリ来るんだ。
He's like, her brother, she didn't listen to her brother when he said, "You've got to see this." Yo, why are they going outside in this thing? This is the point where, despite everything I've seen, I'd say, like, Shuichi, you're fucking crazy. We can't go out in this. Oh, God. Now that's an interesting concept. God, it's like sending out shockwaves at them. Oh. Her little legs going as she floated up. That looks kind of silly. Horrifying, but silly. Oh, jeez. Yo, did y'all ever see the movie Nope? I don't want to spoil certain aspects of that movie. It was incredible. I loved it. It's my favorite Jordan Peele movie. I just got flashes of Nope from that little segment. Is she gonna decide she needs to give herself up to it? Yo, what is the sewer but a spiral? Yep, see? Look, all around them. That is, I really like the perspective of that shot though. Also the eye right over it. Oh, they are getting sucked up. I want to see what it's like inside. Oh God. All that's left is the pond in the middle of town. The spiral pond. So did it take her? Oh. Just like that, it's over. No, she's right there, right? A second typhoon coming. It was protected by the spiral. Yo, what's in the walls though? That was a human-looking eye. A monster lives here. They eating the dogs, folks! Oh, I didn't think I'd be making a Donald Trump joke in the middle of this one. But here we are. That guy looks way too normal. He's gonna end up being the most fucked up guy. A chronic illness called spiralitis. You know, I just had a wild thought of how to fix Uzumaki. You take the studio that took over with the second episode and you demake the first episode. You have that studio just completely redo episode 1 in this style. Just completely forget that incredible perfect episode 1 exists and just have them do it. And we just have like a mediocre fine Uzumaki. We gaslight everyone else into like not really realizing that like that first episode used to be so much better. And so we just have something that's like consistent across all 4 episodes and just like fine, just to get people to shut the fuck up about it. So we get something that just looks average at best and we'll take it because it's still better than any other Junji Ito adaptation we've ever had. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. God. It do sound like an old woman. It's very much not okay. Oh, the monster son? Or which son? Oh, they're not even gonna show us. Very spiky looking individual. Oh yeah, this guy is fucked up, isn't he? His name was Kirby, and he had the needle ability. Just tons of spikes coming out of him from all sides. There's that eye again. You know, speaking of Kirby, he looks a little bit like Dark Matter, right? Oh, it is him. Oh, he is so fucked up. Uh-oh. He's starting to get it too. What the fuck are those? Oh god. Coming through the walls. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't like that. Oh. Well, I guess we know what the other guy looks like. What the fuck? Ugh. See, now this... The way this thing is moving looks pretty tight, actually. Kind of the jerky movements kind of add to the otherworldliness of it. Oh. Oh, is this that second typhoon? This one's also obsessed with Kyrie. He said, "You can have her." Take him. What the fuck? Oh no. What the fuck is this? That wasn't Jack in the Box guy, was it? The fuck was that? Because Jack in the Box guy got he got turned into a snail, right? Or was that him? And that was parts from the car that run him over. Oh, that's the whole episode. Okay, that was kind of out of nowhere. I would have to go back and see what that one kid's name was, the Jack in the Box kid who died in the other episode, because that feels like, with no like reference to him in like a full episode plus like a half, right? Because he died like halfway through episode 2, I think. The fact that they, you know, that should have been like, if that was him, that should have been like towards the back end of that one, because I thought it was weird, like, oh, he didn't turn into a Jack in the Box, right? After all of that, and seeing like, you know, him holding the thing and it springing out. I think that was him. Then was it I think it was the bully that got turned into a snail, because he was the one who bullied the first kid that turned into a snail, and then the two of them like mated. And the teacher got turned into a snail because he stepped on their eggs. Karma, I guess. So like I said, the best bet is for the second studio to just like go back and demake episode 1, I think. Because then, you know, it goes down in history as just like a fine anime series, and then we all move on with our lives. In the grand scheme of things, this Uzumaki series is not the most important thing. You know, it could have been had we gotten that same level of quality for all the episodes, but I will say, like, because I was able to better brace myself for it this time, I, you know, still had an okay time. You know, and it just goes to show, like, just going from like one thing to the next with like no transitions in between, like, just feels so jarring, like, pacing wise. And I think that's something that even the original studio would have struggled with, because, you know, like I said, it should have just been 11-minute episodes in the first place. Like, that whole, like, the typhoon plus like the fucked up spike people could have been like just like a good, like, solid little chunk episode of television. You take out the spring person at the end and you have a good tight little piece. You know, add him in like at an earlier point, right? Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, I'm being backseat showrunner here, trying to I can fix him is what I'm saying. I'm doing my best here, and you know, as a reactor, I you know, feel like I should be having a good time watching things, and I do. I did enjoy the episode overall. Is it the best thing I've ever watched in my life? No, it's not. But is it something that I feel like it's a waste of time for me to cover? Absolutely not as well. But you know, I also don't feel like I owe it to everything I watch to be overly positive about it, right? I hate being overly negative. I hate just kind of saying like, well, this sucks, and then just post a video of me just completely shitting on something for the whole time. You know, I still, you know, had to throw a couple jokes in there here and there where I could. So I still feel like there's some value in it, you know, in that regard. But, you know, I feel like I'd be doing myself a disservice. I'd be doing you, the viewer, a disservice if I was just like, everything's great, I loved it, 10 out of 10, like and subscribe, because, you know, I feel like the people who are watching this are going to feel kind of similarly to me. At least I would hope so. That, you know, Obviously, like I said, everything they put in there is far beyond my skill and ability to do. I concede that 100%. Animation's hard, it is magical, but you know, it's just hard to not feel jebaited, right, after all this. So I think I'm going to actually keep this a fairly short outro because I've been recording for a very long time. And I got, the intro is so long and I've really said my piece all kind of throughout. I enjoyed the episode. I do not know how Uzumaki ends. I don't know if we're going to get a tragic ending. I don't know if Kyrie is just going to finally have enough and just go and say, like, I'm done with the weird stuff. And, like, maybe the whole town itself, like, spirals itself out of existence. And Kyrie is just like, wow, that was fucked up. Time to find a new place to live. That's all, folks. Da, 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 da. But, no, I don't know if that's how it ends. I don't know if Kyrie finally succumbs to the spiral. I'm very, very curious to see how this thing ends. You know, and it's one of those things, like, since I read the manga so long ago, or part of the manga so long ago, it's just kind of always been a blank spot in my mind. Like, just don't know how the damn thing ends. So I am very curious to see that. It's just one more episode, right? Like, you can't not, after coming all this far, just not finish it, right? So, hey, I'm in this for the long haul, and the long haul is not very long, so it seems. So that's kind of how I feel. How did you feel about this one? Were you better prepared as well for the kind of animation shift? Did the content kind of like supersede how you felt about the animation? Because, you know, it's hit or miss sometimes. Some things are absolutely horrific, like the babies with the mushrooms growing out of them and everyone just going fucking crazy eating them. That's fucked up. That was the peak of the episode for me as far as the fucked up nonsense goes. And then, you know, you get the next one where it's just a typhoon and it's like, oh, the eye of the storm wants Kyrie. That's bizarre. But the baby thing was just so fucked up earlier than, with that. And once again, I hope I don't have to do too much editing as far as the nudity goes because, you know, it's a semantics thing. There was no nipples. There were no nipples on those titties. So maybe it'll be safe. I don't know. My channel is probably small enough to where if it doesn't just get automatically flagged, I think I'm going to be safe in the long run, right? But you know, might have to throw some black bars on there. We'll see. I don't know. You know how this turns out because you've watched this far, and I haven't edited this damn thing yet. So once again, don't forget to leave a like on your way out. This is a very, very long recording. I'll catch you next time for the finale of Uzumaki. Take it easy, everybody.